Mike Soames, and the question I have is something that Walter brought up, is the taxes going up every year from city council, from the city. Why is it that city cannot control spending when the major employer in this town is given 2% pay raise in the last 4 or 5 years? Why can't city council do the same thing, control their spending? Because with the city increasing property taxes every year in taxes, it's a compounding effect for the employees at the university, that every year you're raising taxes, our property taxes go up, which means we have to take more of what income we have to paying taxes. In the meantime, that's affecting other businesses in town because we can't pay as much for goods and services from other businesses in town. So what's city council going to do to control spending?
Thank you. Who wants to go first?
May I, since I was invoked? Thank you for the question. We have not raised taxes every year. In the time that I've been on there, and maybe the mayor or somebody else is paying attention to tell you exactly which years, but during the recession, we held back and didn't raise the full 3% every year. That effectively created a savings account because we have the ability to reach back for it. And we were looking at that when the state legislature was looking at doing away with all the personal property tax and leaving us holding the bag, trying to figure out how to fill the gap. More to answer your question, my contention has been that we figure out revenue first, including the 3%, and then we figure out where we can spend it. We could spend another $10 billion in Moscow without even thinking very hard about it. So to work from revenue first and then back to spending it, I think is the wrong approach. I would love to work from need and then figure out how much money we need to have to cover it. So that's been my argument. I win a little bit of those. I don't win them all. We need, you know, it takes 4 votes on the council to do anything. I haven't been able to convince 3 people that the way I'm trying to look at it is the way they would agree to look at it.
Thank you. One thing I would like is, these are great questions and they're great responses. So let's keep them short. We don't want just sound bites. We don't want that. But try to keep your responses short. Try to keep your questions short. Thank you. Who's next?
Well, I was on city council from 2006 to 2009, so I haven't been in that part of it for the last 4 years. But I'll tell you what can help on taxes, and that's growth. One of the things you run into is the services. If the services stay the same and you don't have growth, your taxes are going to end up going up, just like water and sewage. Those keep going up, and the reason for it is they're replacing infrastructure. That's one of the reasons why we need growth. Growth helps that. Growth, whether it be businesses or houses or industrial, will offset some of that. And so that's one of the things that we need to take a look at, folks, here in our area, and that's one of the ideas that I have as we're going along to manage it. Is that an easy thing to do? No, it's not. Walter had mentioned about you should have the revenue first and spend it. I wish Washington, D.C. had that same idea. Wouldn't that be a nice thought? Here's how much money we're going to give you, and that's all you're going to get. Don't spend any more of it because we're going to send you home to sue.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got a little editorial on that, but that's how you can solve some of that issue so you don't have it every year. Thank you.
Okay, Nancy. And then John, did you have your hand up? Well, okay,
Let the mayor speak.
Okay, that's okay.
Well, the last number of city councils have not taken the full 3% of the previous year's levy as would be allowed by state law. I think we have been very frugal, responsible with the taxpayers' hard-earned dollars. We do have aging infrastructure like so many places, and we have limited places to secure that funding to replace water and sewer lines, to fix our roadways, etc. We've tried to spread that around. We've tried to stretch those limited dollars with our pavement management plan, with reducing the fuel consumption by city facilities, and we're saving tens of thousands of dollars by doing those modest things. But I think realistically we do in fact look at our needs and we budget incrementally. We sock it away just like any of us in the room. We save money to spend as we have accumulated enough to do those projects. So I assure you that we are being as careful as we can, and it is a public process. Please come to the public meetings. Take a look online. We've posted the city's budgets there. Come to our hearings and say, I disagree with you, or I support this, but not that. That's really an important part of this.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, John?
When I was, the last year that I was on the council, I was president of the council, we did not take any tax increase that year. And at that time, I had polled the council, and they all were much in favor of not taking any tax increase. And also, we did not hire any new city employees. We took one employee from Parks and Rec and moved them from half-time to full-time. It had been the first time in 25 years that Parks and Rec had gotten a new full-time employee, and actually all they did was get half-time to full-time. It can be done. People don't like it, but I think in the future we may have to do some things that people aren't going to like from a financial perspective if we're going to keep the city spending under control. And there, you know, like Bill said, I would hope that the people back in Washington, D.C. would approach their business.
Come on, John, that's not.
I couldn't pass it up, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to the last question because we only have about 8 minutes left, and we're going to let